Okay, welcome. This is Workbook 25.2 in 5 minutes or less. This is on problem solving. This one's a little bit more tricky because it gives us all this information and we have to figure out where it goes. So notice this paragraph right here. It says a survey of a class of 21 students found that 12 students wear glasses, 14 students play a sport, and 8 students both wear glasses and play a sport. So then we have this Venn diagram, and you might look at this Venn diagram and say, what? Where do we get 21 and 12 from? And what in the heck? So this is what you're doing. This is the part of the problem solving that you're doing. So notice it said both of them wear, like 8 of them wear both glasses and play a sport. So for sure that number's there. But then we look right here, how did they get that 4? Well, right here, and this is what you're going to have to do. It said that 12 students wear glasses. Well, if we knew that 8 of them wore glasses and play a sport, that means that you'd have to have 4 more to make this whole circle 12. And similarly, if we knew that that was 8 and 14 played a sport, then that means that we're going to have 8 plus 6 would make 14. And then the number that does not play glasses or play a sport is 3, because 4 plus 8 plus 6 would be 18, right? But then you have to get to 21 because it said 21 right there. So then that's why you had the 3 more there. So that is what you're going to be having to do. And it kind of is a little bit confusing at first, but this is all about the intersection. So we had wear glasses and play a sport. So then you have to go through, and it went through, and that's what this lesson is going through and breaking all of that down into details. So finding the probability of 3 or more events occur. If they're independent, they just all multiply. That's the next thing that you need to know. And then identifying everyday independent events. So this is one thing that's really important, is if the fraction inside something on both parts matches. So like here's an example. We want to know, is a male, is it dependent or independent on whether or not they drive a car or ride a bus? So notice of the people that drive a car, there's 1 out of 4 of them that drive a car here. And then ride the bus, there are 2 out of 8, which reduces to 1 out of 4. So because 1 out of 4 is the same in both parts, that proportion is the same in both parts, that means it is independent. So that means that being a male has nothing to do with that. Okay, so we are going to be doing these. A shop has 4 types of sweets: chocolate, taffy, gummies, and cookies. So there are 2 types of snacks, chips and crackers, and 3 types of drinks: sodas, juice, and sports drinks. Mystery boxes are being put together that randomly combines 1 of each. What is the probability that a mystery box contains chocolate, chips, and juice? So how many would be, so this is the idea of what we're doing. How many would be chocolate? So we have 1 out of 4. And then if you want to, if you have a calculator or if you have it open in another tab, I'm going to do it in here. I say 1 out of 4 and I'm going to type it in my calculator. And then I'm going to multiply it because they're all independent. The next one I have 1 chips out of 2. So 1 out of 2 for the chips. And then multiplied by 1 out of 3 for the drinks. And if you do this, you might notice that you'll get a decimal. But then if you're using decimals, you can push the little fraction button on here. You could push math frac and then enter. And so I got 1 out of 24. With these, another easy way of doing it is 4 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 is 24, because we only got 1 out of each of them. All right, next question. So freshman, sophomore has, we want to know, take an art class, they can either choose photography or drawing. Which fact establishes that the observation that if a student is sophomore is independent from that? So we want to know that the fraction is equal among photography or art. So the fraction of sophomores among drawing students is equal to the fraction among of freshmen. We don't want the freshmen. We want the sophomores make up the same fraction in both of those things. So that's what it is. And there we go. That is 25.2 in less than 5 minutes. I'm going to zoom out so I can pause my video. Okay.